Is
So,
it? Yeah.
Flamingo.
so guys, I think the time has come here.
And so have I.
Who's a worse actor? The actor for Jax here or Shaquille O'Neal before, he became a good actor?
So for stuff like stealing Kazam.
Wait. He became a good actor since when?
Well, to be fair, his voice
Well,
acting
wait
in Shaq Fu 2 is actually pretty fine, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, he's voicing
he's also
himself
gotten-
in that one.
Hey, check this out. The altar of King Tsung and the altar of King Kang. Huh?
Would you say that's a nice Easter egg, Pedro?
Well, yeah. Remember, we did find different names on the car's, plaques. So
Yeah. That's the sad part, Jova. Like Dwebs has said, like Ed Boon is a better Jax, and that's how sad is that?
also these demons look nothing like Outworld demons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm seriously acting. Who's worse, the actor playing Jax here or Shaquille O'Neal before he became a good actor?
Well,
I
to be
guess
fair,
you
to be
have to
fair,
remember-
this actor only has like what 6 lines in this game, so it's not really a good way to judge his entire skill set.
There are
you
the
know?
Codex conversations technically, but you also have to remember this was literally his first role in his career, and he actually got roles. I think he's still getting those, but let me check once again just to be sure.
This is
Oh,
literally his
good on
first
him.
role,
It's like,
and it's a role where I mean, let's face it, Jova. Morgan freaking Freeman wouldn't have been able to make this game compelling voice-wise. It's just
Well, okay.
If we had a narration, maybe I guess.
Okay. Normally I'd agree with you, Pedro, but if they gave him enough stuff to narrate in this game, I feel Morgan Freeman might have been able to salvage this game. Like, come on, tell me you wouldn't love a Mortal Kombat game narrated by Morgan freaking Freeman.
You know what? Now that I thought about more about it, a better casting decision in Hollywood-wise for Jax would be Samuel L. Jackson. So,
Oh god, that would be awesome.
so
Oh my god.
same argument I made, but replace Morgan Freeman with Samuel L. Jackson. Even he couldn't make this material sound compelling.
You know, Pedro, you reminded me of that one time where Morgan Freeman does play a military official, and it's weird.
There we go.
Well, I mean,
Craig
it's a better role. It's a better role than whoever the hell he played in Ben-Hur.
Yes,
There
that
you-
too.
There you go, Craig J. Harris. Again, this was literally his first actorial role, but he has got, actually a career after this. Not a very lengthy, not a very, meaty one, but it's tough. It's very tough. Yes, Bibs?
He was in Fred Claus.
I don't even know what that
a
is.
bad movie.
It's
basically a
basically-
movie
it's a
for
terrible
Paul
Vince Vaughn
Giamatti and
movie.
Santa Claus.
It's a terrible Vince Vaughn movie where it turns out Santa Claus had a brother that got all the attention of the parents, and so Fred, his brother, became a bitter guy who works as a repo man.
You know what's sad, Dwibs? That sounds a bit similar to the plot of Elf Bowling.
But yeah,
The
this
movie,
is.
mind you, not the game.
But yeah, this is. But yeah, this is Special Forces' take on Outworld.
Riveting.
They decided to take the Ultima 8 approach and make everything gray and boring. That's it. This is Outworld, everybody. The Mortal Kombat live-action 1995 movie has better visual ideas for Outworld than you guys have.
Hey,
That's sad.
guys, if Jax knew about Outworld, why didn't he tell Sonya about it back during Mortal Kombat 1?
That's a good question.
Because when I think Outworld, the kingdom ruled by Shao Kahn, full of very fearsome creatures, I think a gray-looking stone maze above a bottomless pit. Yeah, clearly.
Actually, here's the better comparison, dude. When I think of Outward, I think of the temple levels from the first Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it feels like they took cues from
Even
that.
just with even less lighting, because there are not, the torches.
And yeah, like I said, this level is a maze.
Yay!
So I have to wonder, was there like production troubles with this game? Because
Yeah,
this game
I've already
just
mentioned it.
screams-
Yeah, this game had terrible development.
Okay. Like, aside from John Tobias jumping ship, like, What was going on even the more inner level here and there?
The problem, Jove, is that this game was clearly a dev casualty of the more experimental era of the late 90s. Like people, they were trying. This was literally an era. The late 90s was basically an era where Mortal Kombat was basically throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck, basically.
Also, that perspective is a terrible way to look. The way you were going down that, you'd almost think that thing is meant to trap you.
Exactly. Alright, so now we got the purple gem, so now we can put it on the altar. Or a dragon eye, I don't, not that I care.
Still.
They call it a dragon eye, but it's just a purple crystal, like.
I mean, crystals.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this game, holy cow.
This game is a wonderful this game is a wonderful cure for insomnia. If you suffer from insomnia, try this game out.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. This level makes the rest of the game actually feel like there was passion put into it by comparison, because at least there were proper backgrounds or art in the background. Here, it's a void. You're final. Okay, yes.
And allow me to remind you, Jova, this is Outworld. This is supposed to be Outworld we're in.
I'll just say this: unless you're doing something like Kingdom Hearts, having your final level be a dark void is. Well,
this looks like the entrance to
or Knights, maybe.
Like the entrance. To be honest, this looks like something you'd make for the entrance to Outworld, not Outworld itself.
Yeah.
Allow me to remind you, everybody, that Mortal Kombat 2 entirely takes place in Outworld, when we have incredibly creative stages like the Living Forest, and plenty of other cool-looking graphics backgrounds made by John Vogel that we talked about in the previous part. John Vogel did not work on this game, according to, and it definitely shows, because the art direction in this game is atrocious.
Even like we mentioned multiple times, even Jack's outfit is not really impressive.
Yeah, John Vogel was too busy working on Mortal Kombat 4 to work on this. It's remember, John Vogel is pretty much Ed Boon's number 2, so John Vogel is basically the Yoshi Shinkawa to Ed Boon's Kojima, basically. They're very close at the hip, basically.
Oh, so we're indoors now, I guess?
Yes, we are.
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair, they're using portals, so, I guess so.
Honestly, Jova, at this point, I just want this game to fucking end. I've stopped giving a shit about this a long time ago. Whatever. Have Binky the Clown show up at this point. At the least, that would liven up this fucking borefest.
We had the clown enemy as the first boss, sadly.
Yeah, that was weird.
I have so stopped giving a shit. At this point, I just want this game to bloody end.
Don't you see, Pedro? By making you not care, it helps you move along.
Appreciate.
Like I said before. The only reason I will still put this slightly above Mythologies is because, at the very least, it's not broken. It functions. I know that's not exactly a high bar to meet. I'm perfectly aware of that. I assure you. But this game, at the very least, functions, and that's more than I can say for Mythologies. It's boring as shit, don't get me wrong, but it functions.
Okay. Objectively speaking, it is a much better put together game than Mythologies, in the sense where, at least it feels like they had a player set in mind with this. Again, except for that weird bit with Sophia, that was just whatever the hell they were thinking.
It's basically
aside from that.
No, go ahead.
But aside from that, at least this functions how you would expect the proper game to. Whereas with Mythologies, like you mentioned, having to figure out how that game handles is in and of itself a riddle.
Trust me. Trust me.
And you know what the sad thing is?
What?
Mythologies was the last Mortal Kombat game to do the sprite work thing.
Yeah, it was. That's the sad part.
You saying, Pedro?
It's basically a pick or poison scenario, Jova. What hurts you more? Being incredibly aggravated and frustrated and annoyed to the point of madness, to the point where you just want to break your controller, or being bored to tears? Which one of these is your worst scenario?
The former does tend to, you know, attract more audience viewership, watching a player suffer for here and there. But in terms of actually playing it, well, okay. There are certain types of bad and aggravating games that actually can be fun to play. But I don't know.
I can assure you, Jova, Mythologies is not fun to play.
Hey guys.
Trust me, I got that very well from the footage.
Hey guys.
Yes, Twips.
About the box art for this game. You know how they differentiated the NTSC box art from the PAL box art?
Yes.
They just flipped Jack's horizontal.
Hurrah!
Genius.
So instead of facing the left, in the PAL version, Jax is facing the right.
Oh my fucking god, am I playing a Quake game now? Like, seriously?
Quake is more entertaining.
Oh, it is. Well, it is. But I'm talking about the way the level looks too. Like, seriously, this looks like a level you'd see in a mid '90s FPS. Like,
when was this game made again?
1999. Oh yeah, 2000. You're right.
So I guess technically, was the Quake engine a thing around this time?
Yes.
Well, Quake is very much still a thing, actually.
Because here's the thing, a lot, and I do mean a lot of companies loved using the Quake engine, so maybe they use that for this?
Well, I don't fucking know.
I don't even know what Edo was doing at this point, to be honest.
It's just like no, it's one of those things, Jova, where by the time you're like halfway through Mythologies, you're at the point where you want to tear your hair out because the game is incredibly punishing, incredibly horribly unnecessarily punishing. Whereas this game, I can at the very least sleep my way through. Whereas this game, I need to take some anti-sleep. I need to pause once in a while to keep my brain active, or I have something playing in the background to make sure I don't go into a coma. But I can at the very least get through it well enough.
Also, this maze.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
And yet, you gotta love mazes that taunt you with the fact that because your character doesn't have proper jumping controls, you can't reach what would otherwise be a very easy to reach platform.
It's a Dark Souls experience.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where if a game makes me incredibly irritated to the point where I'm practically at a point where I want to break something, the game is doing the opposite of what it's supposed to do, basically. And that to me is and that's why to me that's the worst offender.
Also, this music.
No. Yeah, that not that I blame Dan for it all that much. Some, yes, but not entirely, because what possible inspiration can a musician even draw from this thing? Like,
okay, if he was tasked to make music based off of how the levels looked, I can definitely see his issue thing, though. If he was doing it separate of all this, then I do have to wonder why it seems like he is definitely halving it.
I get the feeling most of his effort at the time went into Mortal Kombat 4, and I don't blame him for it, because Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat 4 for its time is still a pretty fine enough fighting game. Obviously, it hasn't aged well in today's market, but then again, what fighting game from back then has?
So here's the thing: if the game was actually good, the music probably would have been considered one of the worst qualities of it. But because the game is the way it is, the music is arguably one of the better things about this game. And that's in spite of its lackluster quality.
Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, like even like it functions like it's even okay. Dan Forden also did the music for Mythologies, and that soundtrack is equally forgettable. Like I don't remember a single thing.
What did you think of his music for Mortal Kombat 4?
I think it was fine. Typical Dan Forden.
I'm guessing maybe it was these games that Dan Ford, because after a few games of lackluster soundtracks, I guess he just kind of moved into a different position.
Actually, his best work for me is in Mortal Kombat 3, and Ultimate in general, like the Mortal Kombat trilogy, basically. I absolutely really love his work on 3, and even 2. 2 has a great title theme.
Hey, you did
So
it!
are we gonna face Kano now?
If I remember correctly, yes. Oh no, never mind. We have more level. Great.
Yeah, Jack's just standing there, looking very confused, summarize everything.
And it goes on and on and on.
Like the Snyder
Oh,
cut. Boom. Sorry, fans.
Well,
I mean, at least with the
Kombat's now owned by Warner Brothers. I guess it kind of makes sense.
Oh my god, guys, imagine a live-action Mortal Kombat versus DC movie.
I can see that being a thing, actually.
Yeah,
If the Mortal Kombat upcoming live-action movie is successful, I can see Warner Brothers pondering the option, actually.
And considering how the next considering judging from the trailers, the movie seems to be taking itself very seriously. Yeah, I guess it could be fitting.
It's one of those things.
I take it you want that big a fan of Mortal Kombat versus DC story to you?
It could have been worse, but it feels very uninspired in general.
It's like my guess is too, when it comes to the whole going back to a bit what we were talking about in the previous part, because remember, I get the feeling too that when Ed Boon made those moves in starting with 4 to remove Comic Con, it was because he wanted to return more to Mortal Kombat 1 specifically, because Mortal Kombat 1 didn't really have any kind of comedy angles at all. Even so my guess is, from his perspective, he really wants to go back to that MK1 style of not having too many silly finishing moves, basically.
Well, the Scorpion's Revenge proved that you can have that kind of tone while still having the fairness of lighthearted again.
Oh, sure.
Johnny Cage, which the new live-action movie seems to be lacking completely.
Yeah. That's the problem. No, I definitely agree with
well, considering how many characters it has, I guess they want to avoid a, say, Street Fighter the movie problem.
No, that's the thing, though. That's not the case. The problem is not so much that they're putting in many characters. The problem is that they're replacing Johnny Cage, one of the series' most beloved characters, for a new OG character that nobody is really sold on so far. What's the point? Why not? People love Johnny Cage.
It's gonna turn out that this. I wonder if the plot relation is gonna be that this new OG character actually does turn out to be Johnny Cage.
Well,
so it's like how when Metal Gear Solid 2, the guy that Ryder meets is totally not.
No. I got it better. I'll give you one better, Drips. At the end, the guy becomes acting like, what shall I call myself? I guess I'll be Johnny. Then cut the credits.
Oh, it's like Fan 4 stick.
Yeah.
Or Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah, that too.
No. Like, seriously, people love Johnny Cage. Just have Johnny Cage be there, straightforward, with no thing. Like seriously, especially considering it's a movie. All the more reason to have Johnny Cage in it. The whole point of Johnny Cage is that he's supposed to be a satire on the typical douchebag, pretentious actor. That's the whole point of Johnny Cage.
Have those things gone out of style recently?
Not really. Scorpion's Revenge proved that you can actually use them in a modern context, aka Sonya Blade beating the shit out of him when he steps out of line.
For example, he even makes a Tom Cruise.
It makes sense in context, believe me.
Okay, Dubs. As someone who's seen it, I can assure you it's not like that Captain Marvel thing.
No, it's not.
That Captain Marvel deleted scene, you mean?
Not to mention Dibs. Sonya, as you saw in the first live-action movie, she's supposed to be a badass who doesn't take shit from anybody anyway. So of course you expect.
It's also Dibs. It's also taken in not in English, but for that purpose, it's referred to as more of a joke rather than to showcase empowerment.
Yeah.
That reminds me, though, one weird thing about Annihilation. I get Sonya being distressed over Johnny's death, but man, with how she acts, you'd think that they had pretty much become married and gotten a child in that continuity because, she acts incredibly distraught over his death.
Jover, I don't know who you're talking about. They were Johnny Cage and Sonya.
But
so who was Raiden replaced by Libs?
Raiden, he was replaced by his
evil clone.
Baden or something.
It's no, but that's the thing.
Man, Annihilation really did do a number on you.
No, the thing. No, that's the thing though. Yeah, like Theo said. Yeah, Scorpion's Revenge showed that you can do that. So it's not like you can't do that. It's just moronic to not do that because especially considering how critics will probably even dig that anyway. Now, as long as it's well written, of course. It's just so baffling what they're doing. Although I will give them credit, they did manage to find an actor that definitely looks appropriate for Liu Kang, which would be a tough act to follow with Robin Shao. So kudos to that at least.
What about Scorpion?
Well, I still want to see more, but because
in terms of appearance, Drove, I can tell you personally that both Scorpion and Sub-Zero do look the part, so there is that.
Yeah.
So how would you say? Okay, so ignoring the so far lack of seeing Johnny Cage here, how are the characters represented by the looks of that show? I have not gotten around to seeing it yet.
Like I said, the Scorpion and Sub-Zero look fine. Mileena is okay.
And it shows how Jack's lost his arms.
That too.
Oh, that's nice. So in regards to Mileena, you sound unsure about her. Did they remove?
Okay, no. They're still keeping the fact that she has, Tarkatan's teeth, but it feels a bit more downplayed, probably for making sure the special effects works, which is understandable. But again, much like Pedro said for Scorpion, I'll need to see more of that.
It's like
and even the special effects look pretty much solid. Like I said, Jova, the major problem to me is just the tone. That is literally it.
Oh,
it feels a movie that takes itself way too seriously when it shouldn't.
I get the mentality of taking Mortal Kombat seriously here and there, given the stakes and whatnot, and how it is supposed to be darker here and everything.
In general, that's also the thing to counterbalance. Remember, at its core, this is a very bleak series where there's multiple genocide attempts, characters dying left and right, and a sense of oppression that permeates the entire franchise. So you do kind of need some kind of levity. Otherwise, you get something akin to a Rob Liefeld comic.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me, was that one of your problems with Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Because yes, while that movie does have unintentional humor, overall, that story.
Annihilation. Well, to its credit, Annihilation does have intentional comedy. It's not very good comedy, but it is.
It did.
Well, mostly Jax too. I remember one line.
Yeah, Jax is pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Jax was pretty much.
Like I said,
Jax was
also Shao Kahn unintentionally, but Shao Kahn's actor having every single.
No, it's like I said. No, it's like I said in the commentary. The actor playing Jax in Annihilation is the best thing about that movie. Yeah, he doesn't look exactly like Jax, but his acting and overall persona is on point. To be fair, and he has the best. And he has the best lines in the movie, if I'm going to be honest.
Jax was legit the one saving grace of that movie as a whole. Like, he even got a good arc, too, well.
Mr. Ed is mine. No, it's just, the actor really sells the stuff.
I mean, and that's something, considering John R. Leonetti is terrible at directing actors.
Mm-hmm. It's, actually, like, one of my favorite, no, he reacts exactly like you'd expect young Jax from MK2 to react. Like he gets the arms and tests them out, and he even makes a quip. I wish I had these babies back in high school. Yep, that's exactly the kind of line I would expect Jax to say when he first gets his metal arms. Yep, basically. So yeah, that's on point, really. So yeah, I don't really have any major issues with Jax.
Also, aside from the maze structure, as you can see, better is to take baby steps with this, because if you sprint too much, Jax essentially falls into his doom.
Basically,
why would you not just put up invisible walls, given the kind of game it is?
It's because it's a final level, Jova. It needed to be challenging.
Dimps designed
it. It's not even really challenging, really, when you get down to it. That's just you fighting against the controls more than
Special Forces Outworld with guest level designers Dimps. Like
Like,
Do we hide the secret ending behind a bunch of near unfoundable collectibles?
Yes, why not? Let's do that.
but yeah, I mean, okay, it just seems weird that they wouldn't put up invisible walls because that's normally what a game like this does because it's not really platforming.
No, this game's not a no, there's no platforming in this game, so there's absolutely 0 point in having bottomless pits.
I guess that. Well, I mean, to be fair, if you were the main villain of the game and some guy was running towards you who can't run straight, would tell me you wouldn't do that?
Yeah, and now what we have to do is we have to take a kind of a leap of faith because there's no way to control the camera, so let's save a state just in case. There we go. See?
Oof, barely made it.
Wouldn't it have been nice if they just gave us a jumping button if they're gonna have sections
Alright,
like these?
Kano, I hope it was worth it.
Well. If it isn't that pesky special forces grunt, come to secret.
We check who voices Kano. David Allen.
Hold on.
I'll check later.
You have managed to defeat all of my Black Dragon members.
This game came out 3 years after Mortal Kombat 4 and the CG looks worse.
Can barely hear him.
Pawns to slow you down. And in that respect,
Yes, they were only pawns who will never return.
I have already reached the eye of Shitian. And soon you will know its power.
Oh,
This game was supposed to be called Mortal Kombat Mythology.
oh, shut up and fight me already so I can kill you.
But Pedro, don't you know you technically won't kill him?
Fist to your face, you delusional maniac. And after you get your pounding, I'm gonna haul your butt back to prison back home on Earth. Where
Gotta love the staging in this cutscene, just the characters wobbling back and forth.
I'm doing weird pointing.
I get the idea these were still mock-up. And we thought, oh, it looks so cool because we're actually moving like real people.
Alright, so the final boss of against Kano.
Hand-to-hand combat, shall we?
No.
You're probably just, getting riddled in with bullets.
Again, why should I bother with the combos if the weapons are way more efficient?
So the question, okay, so the problem with knives, does he at
said he was
least
going to shove a metal fist in his face, Pedro.
does he at least have some of these traditional moves from the game, like the laser and stuff?
There you go too. That's his trademark roll move. There you go.
Fair enough.
Oh!
And hey, the music starts to sound actually like Mortal Kombat. Holy shit!
Yes!
It took you long enough.
The game just woke up at the very end.
Yes! So essentially what this game is like a bum who's sleeping, but then when he wakes up, he suddenly becomes a sleek businessman who's all of a sudden on top of things.
Alright, let's go and check out this ending.
Maybe you want to apprehend Kano?
He be dead, Jova.
Again, this takes place before Mortal Kombat 1.
Whoa!
And...
What the hell is this?
We travel back into Earthrealm too, basically.
Who's the dead body?
Kano's.
It's Kano.
Is it? I don't even
And he's not dead, Edwibs. He's just knocked out.
Oh, and that's it?
And the rest of this ending is just this call.
Alright, let's hear it.
Come in.
Jax, well, sounds to me like someone has made it all the way back home.
That's
my.
That's the line you're going with.
Sounds like an innuendo. Oh!
Please tell me that's how it ends. Oh!
Thanks for playing Mortal Kombat. Fuck you. yes, Ed Boon, the guy that hates this game.
Hang on, wait a minute. How come John Tobias isn't credited?
Because he had left by this point.
He abandoned the project. Anyway,
don't the other future games credit him as
well? Well, remember, Dwebs, Jinaka was not credited in Sonic 06.
Anyway, David Allen has voiced only Kano here, and it was additional voices in Armageddon. So there is that.
Well, that was certainly a game.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I guess technically it is a game. The programmers made it. So yeah.
There's a game controller involved. You do button prompts.
You play it. You You play
Less
it.
than the
with
Rockstar Butcher?
You play it with a controller.
The Adam Skinny Bones Johnson? Who are these people?
Basically, the developers gave themselves nicknames.
Okay,
And once
I
again,
love
Carlos
Carlos
Pazina,
Pazina.
obviously.
they're just doing God's work.
Carlos Pazina is yet another one.
Credits.
Yeah, Carlos Pazina is yet one of those MK1 alumni that is still with the series to this day, doing things. So yeah. Okay, and yeah, just like it started, the game dies out with a fart.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Kano, you will pay for this. So
He
that,
says in a monotone dialect, despite showing body language, I would suggest that he's screaming it to the heavens.
all right, Dwibs, why don't you, give your final
Do your
thoughts?
thing.
What the hell am I looking at?
You're looking
There's
at
the catchphrase.
a game that is boring to tears. Go ahead. Come on, let's try.
I mean, I don't know what happened here. The graphics are infinitely worse than the game that came out 3 years before on the same console. The music is incredibly generic. I barely even notice the music half the time. The controls look like. Get seriously. Take Metal Gear Solid and remove the stealth, because so basically all you're doing is running around and shooting things most of the time. Not even punching, because why bother doing that when you've got guns that can stun lock someone to death? And also the voice acting is even worse than in Mortal Kombat 4, and that's baffling considering those voice actors were literally just the guys, the developers trying to do the voices.
Sometimes in deliberate gibberish.
Yeah, and again,
Exactly.
Anyway.
Go on, Dibs.
Anyway, again, it's sad when a guy who's not even a voice actor, Ed Boon, could do a better.
Not
voice
just
for Jax.
Not just that, Whips. Unlike Craig Harris, Ed Boon is white. And yet, he could somehow do Jax better. Like, it's double.
Okay. Like, here's the thing with Kirk Harris. I feel like he does have a good voice for Jax. He just doesn't have the right inflections to help, craft and texture it better.
And like I said, literally the first role of his career, he's mostly a stunt doubler.
Yeah, I mean, so to give some credit to Craig Harris, I do feel like with time and training, he could have definitely fit as a voice for Jax, but he was dealt a crap hand with this game.
And to wrap it all up, it has a super. What the hell is that ending? Oh yeah, that sounds like. Do any of the Shaft films end like that? Because that's what it kind of feels like to me.
For a moment, I thought you were going to suggest that this was mainly just a Mortal Kombat porno that haphazardly had to be changed from being a porno to a video game. They just cut out so much. Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like how the Nostalgia Critic viewed how the rooms behind the scenes might have gone.
Actually, I thought you were going to say Supergirl, but yeah, the room thing. But honestly, yeah, I mean, think about it. A lot of the porno dialogue had to get cut out, so pretty much 90% of the movie, hence why there's little dialogue, and then they had to rush to insert game bits in between.
Yeah, I can imagine the phone conversation when, and then Jax was talking to a woman on the phone and lowly and sexually says, "Oh yeah."
I mean, maybe that is a climax line.
I guess. I mean, maybe after the climax. Wait, hang on. Why am I talking about sex? I should be talking about a video game.
Are you done, Dubs?
That's what Jax said.
Ooh.
But anyway, Mortal Kombat Special Forces. I mean, putting the special in there is a bit ironic because there's nothing really special about it other than the cutscenes, and even then, those are kind of like not that special compared to say MK4. But yeah, so yeah, we're done with the PlayStation 1 era, are we?
Yes.
Yes.
After this, it's the PS2 era, starting with the Alliance. So and from this point on, it's all Ed Boon. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose it can't get any worse.
Well, remember this, like I've said to you, like I've told you, Mythologies was the bottom to me. It only gets better from Mythologies, to me at least.
Right. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm done.
Sure, too.
Sure. There is definitely the idea for a game here, and yes, it technically is functional, but it looks like we're playing it. It's the thing that's playable is like the beta of it, not necessarily alpha, because it's not riddled with glitches. It's very technically functional, but it feels like the skeleton of the game, where the rest of the plot had to be constructed around it. And instead we're left with just the bare bone experience, which is an extreme slog to go through. This is not even like the case of, just put some like death metal in the background or something, or the music that I like, and and just play this on a casual level. Not even that. There's not the kind of sense of excitement. The gameplay is very basic. There is literally nothing here to entertain you, not even on an arcade level. So as much as it is painful to play, at least Mythology gives you something, at least, I would prefer taking someone slapping me in the face multiple times rather than literally boring me to tears. But if there was a way to combine the type of storytelling of Sub-Zero and the type of gameplay of Jax, maybe we would have got a decent, Mythologies game, which is technically speaking what happens with Charlie Monks, but I'm speaking just for these two hypothetically.
For me, it's just like if someone bores me to tears too, I can't really sleep with it. When someone slaps me, it hurts. So,
but no, again, there's literally not much going on here, and even it's not really that much connected to the rest of the franchise to say, this is pivotal or anything.
Okay, people, move along. Nothing to see here.
It's more like that clip from Mystery Science Theater 3K. We hope you enjoyed No Moral Theater, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. This is the most forgettable and absolutely boring of the MK games for a good reason. Next.
Jova.
It's a game. It exists.
Technically, it is a game. Technically.
Time and effort was put into this.
Supposedly.
There was music added, allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's a game that feels like it's asleep in bed literally until the final boss.
Yep. Like I said, Jova, it serves as a great cure. I have found the cure for insomnia, Jova. It's called Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Not just that. Okay, it's not just that. It's like, the game itself feels like it's asleep is the thing. Like, as opposed to just putting the player to sleep. Like,
Don't worry, Jova.
I really do wonder what the thought process behind this whole thing was.
Don't worry, Jova. The next game literally opens with an opening that is definitely not what you expect and will definitely not put you to sleep.
Also, Jova, again, it's easy. It was Midway saw an easy cash cow, so they quickly slapped together the product, regardless of how troubled the development cycle was.
It really does make one wonder what was even the thought process, though. Like, seriously. It's bland. I'm legit having trouble thinking up things to really say. Like, it's just there. Like, it's technically inoffensive, but gosh damn, could they have done better?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of the voice actors really were given proper direction here and there. It shows the level design was not well thought out here and there. And yeah, while technically it does function like you would expect a game to function like, for the most of the part, it still does make some baffling decisions like not putting up invisible walls in the bottomless pit area. Because again, this is not a platformer. Other than that, though, it's just there. There's nothing wrong with playing this game, and if you find a reason to really like it, then congrats. That's it, though. This game exists.
Yes, the game is sleep-inducing. It really is. It's just like so devoid of any kind of personality or charm that makes it in any way entertaining. And as a result, it's incredibly boring to play. It functions, like I said, and on a technical standpoint, yeah, like Theo said, it's technically not glitch-free. So there's that. It's just one of those cases where it all depends on you. Like Theo prefers to be irritated ad nauseum. I prefer to be bored because at the very least, when I'm being bored, I can at the very least sleep it off. Whereas with a game like Mythologies, to me, it's just one of those cases where I'm trying my best to complete it so I can record it, and it's just I keep dying over and over and over and over, and for bullshit reasons, and it's just so incredibly aggravating. And I'm just sitting, and I'm just in that with like about to burst a blood vessel. So it's just like so that game is much less healthy to me. It's much more harmful to my health than this one is. So I realize that this is not exactly something that I should be complimenting the game for, for the fact that the game is not harmful to my health, but hey, like Theo would say, I'll take what I can get. So there's that. Alright, everybody, and that's basically it. Like Jova said, it's very hard to even say things about this game because this game is so devoid of character. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of Mortal Kombat Special Forces. There's one more series spin-off, everybody. However, unfortunately, because of technical difficulties, I wasn't able to get Special Forces running in a way that's satisfactory. Therefore, that playthrough is going to have to be put indefinitely on hold.
Actually, Shaolin Monks, Pedro.
Sorry, you're right, Shaolin Monks. Shaolin Monks. Sorry. So yeah, Shaolin Monks is going to be put indefinitely on hold until I can figure this out. It's probably going to be a while before I can figure it out because I don't really have any other means that could possibly work aside from the ones that I've tried and failed. So for now, we're just going to have to put that game on an indefinite hold. So basically, everybody, next time we do Mortal Kombat, we're going to start the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox era with Mortal Kombat 5, which is actually now called Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. To the next time for the beginning of a new era for Mortal Kombat, where Mortal Kombat goes 3D, and this time not just graphics, but in gameplay too. So, see you then.